Florida Governor Ron DeSantis faced some jeers after showing up to a WWE wrestling event at the Youngling Center over the weekend. Let's take a look. You love to see it. I know I do. Okay, but yes, sure, he was heckled and people said, you suck, you suck, you suck. But why? I mean, especially when you would assume to be, you know, this audience is a prime MAGA audience. Look, obviously not all wrestling fans are MAGA. I've got a lot of friends who, you know, are leftists, who enjoy wrestling. Okay. And you know, like WWE, even though there are some issues with labor and of course a former head Vince McMahon, and so you know there's that problem, right? But that said, even the ones who are MAGA, I don't think they have a very good opinion of Meatball Ron. All right, after all, Ron did try running against Donald Trump in the primary and fell flat on his face. It was not only an embarrassment, and by the way, those lifted heels, right, made it so that his fall on his face was worse than it could have been. Okay, just saying. But all right, yes. Not only was this an embarrassment to him for failing to win over the MAGA crowd, it's also seen as, I think, the ultimate betrayal by some of them, even after he groveled to Trump by endorsing him. Still, there may be other points of contention here. You know, I think that it's part of his rule in Florida, which has not been very good. Not been very good at all. Look, DeSantis also getting back to, getting away from Florida for a second. I know we all want to get away from Florida, but before I get to that, DeSantis did side with Elon and Trump on H-1B visas. Now, wait a minute. You might think, well, but he sided with Donald Trump. Yes, against MAGA. You see, there's a bit of a contention here. I talked about this. You had Steve Bannon and Laura Loomer that were like, how dare you support more H-1B visas? How dare you? We hate that program. But Elon and Trump were like, no, we love it. That we can import workers and we can exploit them and we can pay them less. What's not to like? We love that program. Whereas MAGA's like, yes, we're bringing in people from other countries, specifically India. We hate them because they're brown. But also, yes, they're also taking the jobs, and there are Americans that are training the replacements, and there's a lot of reasons that we don't like the H-1B program. And yes, I even don't like the H-1B program because it is able to be abused. And I think it does need reform. That said, Trump and Elon are like, oh, yeah, no, we like that. Laura Loomer and MAGA and Bannon are like, we hate this program. And mainly because we're racist, but we do hate this program. Okay. So there's that. I think, though, that this issue with Trump versus DeSantis it doesn't really have anything to do with policy and more about their personalities. Donald Trump just doesn't like Ron DeSantis because he dared to challenge him. That's enough. That's enough. All right. Now, in the most recent FU, Trump has even endorsed Byron Donalds as the next governor for Florida. Now, Casey DeSantis, since Ron is term limited out, he's trying to get his wife, Casey, to succeed him. And not even Trump's going for that. Trump's like, no, Byron Donalds all the way. That said, there's a lot of other non-Trump related reasons why people might think Ron DeSantis sucks. For one, his policies in Florida. They have been backfiring pretty, spectacularly, okay? Immigration, for example. SB 1718 has made it a felony to knowingly transport someone with undocumented status into the state, which, again, a lot of those immigration things have hurt farm workers, okay, agricultural workers, 40% of whom are estimated to be undocumented, okay? So harming those people, they don't want to show up to work because they're afraid of getting deported, and their family members who might even be here legally or have legal status, well, they still don't want to take the risk of bringing or transporting someone that may be undocumented to work. So they're not showing up. A lot of them have actually left the state. So that has hurt the farm work, or the farm owners, I should say, the farmers. You got produce rotting in the fields because these workers refuse to show up. And I understand that. Now, of course, that has an effect on prices. Prices are going up. People are being pissed off because of that. And the farmers are being bankrupted. The state economy has lost billions of dollars in revenue. And so, yeah, that's some of the reasons that Ron DeSantis and the Republicans there suck. And it's not just the policies on immigration that are hurting him and his ridiculous war against wokeness, but there's also the Sentine Scandal, okay? If you're not familiar, it's where this company, Centene, basically defrauded Medicaid to the tune of $67 million. They ended up having to pay the state back. They did, but $10 million of it did not go back into the Medicaid fund. Oh, no. $10 million was funneled to the Casey DeSantis affiliated Hope Florida Foundation, and was used eventually to attack a referendum opposed by her husband, which would have legalized cannabis in the state. That referendum lost, even though it did get a majority in support of it. Yeah, 56% of voters in Florida wanted to legalize cannabis, but couldn't because you needed a 60% threshold. So yes, there's that. Now, Attorney General James Uthmeier, a DeSantis appointee, who also served as his chief of staff during the Centene deal while running a group called Keep Florida Clean. It's a PAC that was aimed at defeating the cannabis bill. Uthmeier is a huge player in the Sentine Scandal. Okay, and so, but because of his position, no one is actually able to go after DeSantis and anyone involved in this literal theft of Medicaid money. Yes, you have had some Republicans going after or attempting to go after DeSantis to no avail. Okay, that money, by the way, was dispersed to a pair of dark money nonprofits, which transferred that $8.5 million to Uthmeier's Political Action Committee. So, yeah. Now, of course, DeSantis has been calling this entire thing, oh, it's just pure politics. But to me, it smells a lot like corruption. Yes. Which might have something to do with why people hate Ron DeSantis. Look, I think there's a great many reasons why people think Ron DeSantis sucks. Take your pick, right? It could be the fact that, all these different things. It could be a combination, or it could be the fact that he's not very likable. He's kind of weird. He's awkward. He eats pudding with his fingers, like weird. Who does that past the age of 5? You should really know how to use a spoon by then. I don't know. But regardless of whatever reason they hate Ron, telling him that he sucks will never not be true and never not be funny. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.